Hey everybody, welcome to the John Lennon Educational Tour Bus. My name is Ryan, and we have a very special guest, Secretary Arne Duncan, here today. Thank you for coming.
Pretty cool bus. Glad to hang out.
Yeah. You were out here a year or so ago, and you got to be on this bus.
I did.
Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
These wonderful students, they've prepared a few questions to ask you today.
Not too tough, I hope.
Not too tough. Hopefully.
We'll see.
Hopefully, might be a bit challenging.
Test my skills.
Yeah, exactly. So, why don't you start it off?
Can you tell us the importance of education, of technology and education nowadays?
I think technology, and this part of the reason I'm at your school, technology can be a great tool to help to engage students in their own learning. It can help to empower teachers. I think for children, be it in an inner city urban environment or rural or remote or Native American reservation, technology can be a great equalizer. And if you don't have access to a foreign language, if you don't have access to AP, chemistry, or physics, you still need to have those opportunities. And so technology can both level the playing field. And I think you guys should be learning anytime, anywhere, any place. And the idea of sitting at a desk 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 9 months a year, that's the only time you can learn, simply doesn't make sense anymore. I think your school can help to lead the country where we need to go.
So what were your favorite subjects in school?
I love to read, I love to write, so English was probably my favorite subject. And I loved recess and PE and lunch.
If you could redo your high school career, what would you do differently?
That's a great question. I was lucky. I went to an amazing high school. I had fantastic teachers who pushed me hard. I remember some of my English papers, back then we didn't have computers, so they were in blue ink, and I'd get back more red ink from my teachers. But they made me think. They helped me to better express myself, both verbally and on paper. They challenged me to be my best. I was lucky enough to go to a really diverse high school and to go to a school of a lot of folks who had very different environments, very different backgrounds. So I was lucky. There's not much, honestly, that I would redo. I had a great high school experience, and actually that motivates me so much as I travel the country. I want more young people to have the kinds of opportunities I had, to be academically challenged, to have rigor, to have good friends, to grow up in a really diverse environment. I was extraordinarily well served, and I know how lucky I was.
In your opinion, what is the biggest misconception in education today?
There are lots of misconceptions. I think, first of all, we have to make sure all of you guys are graduating from high school. And I think some people still think, it's okay to drop out, or maybe it's even cool to drop out. If you drop out of high school today, you're basically condemned to poverty and social failure. There are no good jobs out there. So all you guys and your peers have to graduate from high school, and you have to be thinking about some form of higher education, four-year universities, two-year community colleges, trade, technical, vocational training, whatever it might be. The second thing I think is important is that you need great teachers, you need great principals. That's really important. But honestly, I think it's your job. It's your personal job to get a good education. Nobody can give you, no one can force feed an education. So challenging yourself, working hard, starting to build the habits where you're a lifelong learner is so important. And then the final thing, again, this is where young people's voice and leadership is so important. I worry a lot about bullying. I worry about not just physical violence, but cyber bullying and other things. And really understanding that is not cool. That is not a rite of passage. That is never okay. And having both the adults but the teenagers build a culture where respect and tolerance and diversity and acceptance are appreciated, and where you don't allow your peers to pick on other folks. And one of the toughest things I have to do is meet with parents sometimes of young people your age who have actually taken their lives, who have committed suicide due to the tremendous anguish and pain they were in caused by their peers. And to me, that's just absolutely crazy, absolutely unacceptable.
What is the most difficult thing about being Secretary of Education?
Most difficult thing? I love my job, so I feel really lucky. It's hard. You do a lot of traveling, but that's how I learn. And having opportunities to visit schools like yours, I'm in schools almost every single week. It's just a fantastic chance. So there are long hours. It's a big country. I wasn't very good at geography. I'm starting to get a sense for it. Yesterday we were down along the border of Mexico and visited just an amazing school where the majority of students, actually they're U.S. citizens. They live in Mexico, travel back and forth across the border every single day. And you have children as young as 4 and 5 years old getting up at 5 in the morning trying to get a good education. So we all have challenges. We all have hard work. But I think about those little kids trying to do everything they can to get a shot at life. And anything we're doing is frankly pretty easy. And so I feel so lucky to have the chance. And honestly, some days I pinch myself. It's a pretty amazing opportunity.
What is one thing you've learned since becoming Secretary of Education?
The biggest thing that I give our travel country is I'm inspired. I'm really, really hopeful. We have huge challenges. Again, we have to increase graduation rates. We have to reduce dropout rates. We have to make sure that teenagers are taking care of each other, not pulling each other down. And I try and talk a lot about what I call positive peer pressure, not negative peer pressure. But as I travel the country, I see teachers, I see young people like you, I see parents. People are working hard. They want the best. And so for all the difficulties, for all the real challenges we have, I'm very, very hopeful, and I'm inspired about where this country can go.
Excellent, excellent. Are there any other things you'd like to add?
I just want to congratulate you guys on working so hard, and I work for you. And whatever I can do, I want to have a real honest conversation, what's working, what's not. And all the adults here, we just want to see you guys pursue your dreams, whatever those might be. And so the more you can give us honest feedback in terms of where you need more opportunities, where you're feeling supported. And if we're doing our job, you guys are going to go on to do fantastic things. If we're not doing our job, it's your job to push us and use your voice to make sure we're doing the right thing by you and by teenagers across the country.
Excellent. Secretary Duncan, thank you very much for coming by today. Students, very nice job. Very,
Great
very
job.
good. And thank you again for coming by, and we'll see you next time. Imagine peace.